Hello, hello, hello! Today I'm here to do the bonus puzzles from the Genuinely Approachable Sudoku leak number 39. And with that said, we will just get right into it. So let's see, first we have this one, wheel Sudoku. Grid contains some circles that cover 4 cells, and the clues show what those 4 digits are, and the order they're in, but they can be rotated. So yeah, essentially what that means is that obviously I have 1, 2, 3, 4 here. Just guaranteed from this. Here I have 1, 2, 5, 6. I can't have 1 or 2 in either of these, so I can't have 5 or 6 in either of these. And since 1 goes before 2, it's going to be like this. And now I know 1's in one of these two, so 2's in one of these. Let's see. Then 3 has to be in one of these, and 4 has to be in one of those. There we go. Now here I have 1, 2, 6, 7 for pretty much the same reason I can't have 1, 2 in either of these. And similarly, now I need to have 1, 2 in these two, so I get that. Here I need 2, 5, 6, and 7. I can't have 6 in either of these, so I can't have 5 in either of these, so I can't have 2 in either of these, so I can't have 7 in either of these. There's that. Down here I need 2, 3, 4, 5. I can't have 4 here, can't have 5 here, then 2 here or 3 here. And here I'm going to need 4, 5, 6, 7. 4 and 5 can't be in these two, so they must be 6 and 7. So I get 4 and 5 here, which is going to give me this wheel solved and this one up here. And okay, here I need, let's see, 1 has to be in one of these two. It can't be this one, so it's actually just going to give me the pattern. And over here now I need to have 1 in one of these two. And I can't have 9 in either of these, so I need to have a 1 here, 9, 3, and 4. And that's going to also give me that one up there. And now I just need to, let's see, 5 has to be in one of these two. I mean, 7 has to be in one of these two, but 7 can't be here, so it must be here. And 8 and 6. And now this is literally just a normal Sudoku with most of the grid completely filled out anyways. So this should be pretty smooth sailing from here. And yeah, it does definitely appear to be that way. Because a lot of this is just, I can find the missing digits in the row pretty easily. Let's see, one of these 2 is a 5, well, actually it has to be this one. This is going to be an 8. Then I need to have a 9 here, and this is a 6, 7 pair, so up here is a 1. 3's here, then I need 4, 8, and 9 in this column. Which that's about all I can do. This has to be an 8, 9 pair then, which I can solve. That's going to give me a 4 here. I need to have a 7 here, and that means an 8 is going to be here. My remaining ones have to be 5, 6, and 7, so I need a 6 here, 5 here, 7 here. These two are going to then be 2 and 5, which is solvable. This has to be 6 or 7, can't be 7, so it must be a 6. Let's see. Then I need 4, 7, and 8 in this row, so I get an 8 here, 4 here, no, other way around, 4 and 7 like that. And then this one has to be an 8, which is going to give me that. I can solve the 9 here, get a 5 here, and then it's just a 4 and a 3, and there we go, that's the first one done. Parity diamonds, let's see. Digits separated by a black diamond must have both be odd or both be even, and white ones are the opposite, one's odd and one's even. Okay. Let's see. In that case, I'm going to have one odd and one even here, so either these are both even or both odd, I guess. Yeah, it should be pretty obvious actually thinking about it. I didn't really get anything out of that. I know this one has to be a 3 because of these, so this one must be a 1 or a 9. Similarly, I have a 6 here. Oops. There we go. And that means I need to have an 8 here because they both have to be even. That also means these two have to be odd since it can't be 2 and 4. So this one is 7 or 9, and then 5, 7, or 9. And that means this one has to have the remaining odd, 1 even, which means both of these need to be even. So yeah, okay. Let's see. This group here has to be odd actually, because there has to be a 9 here. So this is a 1 or a 3. You have a 7 here and a 5 here, which means one of these. Well, this one actually has to be a 9, so this one here then is a 4. These two could be 7, 9, or 2 evens. It's not clear which yet is actually correct, so can't do much with that. I need to have 1, 2, 6, and 8 in this row here, although I can't see anything to get with that. This is a 1 or a 3, so this one must be a 2. And I need to have a 7 here just because of these. Also, I need a 4 here for the same reason. And that means this one has to be a 2, and this one here is a 5 because it can't be a 3. I need to have 1 odd here, which is going to be my remaining odd of a 3. And then 2, 6, and 8 are the remaining numbers to go in the rest of the spots. So there's that. Okay. Now this one's just a 4. One of these two is going to be a 3, so one of these two has to be a 3, which means the other one has to be a 5 because they have to be the same parity. And 5 can only be in this one. So there's that. Let's see, one of these two is a 5. One of these two is a 7. And that's not great information at the moment. This is going to be a 6-8 pair. And that means these remaining ones are going to be 1, 5, and 9. This one then has to be a 1, which is going to give me a 3 there. Tell me this one is also 6 or 8. I get a 1 here. This is a 3, 5 pair. No, it is not. It is a 5, 9 pair. There we go. And then this is a 3, 7 pair. Okay. This one here is 2, 6, or 8. Over here, I still need to have 1, 2, 4, 6, 8. One of these 2 is a 4, and one of these 3 is a 1. And okay. This has to be 2 odds here. This has to be 2 odds because of all the evens. So let's see. This one here's 1 or 7. Here is can't have 1 at all. So this one is 5 or 9. And this one's going to have to be a 2 because I can only have 2 in the bottom row and it can't be either of those. Therefore, this one can't be a 4 because it has to be odd, so that's a 4 there. In that case, actually, this one's just 1. And then I have 2, 6, or 8 here. Then that tells me that's a 7. Similarly, this one has to be an 8, which is going to give me pretty much all the bottom 3 boxes solved, I think, looking at it. Yep. And box 1 as well. Okay. And then I'm going to need 1, 2, and 8 up here. So I get an 8 here, a 1 here, and a 2 here. This one has to be a 9 because it can't be a 5, which is going to give me all of this. This one's going to be a 3 because it can't be a 7. And then I need to have 1 and 9 in here. Up here I need to just have a 4. These two have to be 6 and 7. 7 had to be up here because of the parity diamond thing. And then these ones are 1, 4, and 9. This one's 1, 9, and 4. I need to have 1, 7, and 9 here. So 9, 7, 1. There's another 9. Okay, and then I get a 1 here, a 3 here, a 5 here, and now I just have the top box, which should be incredibly easy to get. There we go. Let's go on to the next one. This one just, I can never have consecutive digits sharing an edge. So let's see. What that means is that 1 can't be in any of these in this box, so it must be in one of these two, so it's going to have to be in one of these two. Similarly, this one has to be a 7, so one of these 3 has to be a 7. One of these 2 is a 7. Up here, neither of these can be a 7. Actually, none of this can be a 7, so this one's a 7. And I think that's all I can get from that. This one has to be a 2 because it can't be in either of these columns or this square. Let's see. One of these 2 is a 2. Additionally, this one's a 2 because it can't be in this row, or here. One of these 2 here is a 2. And now let's see. This one has to be an 8, which makes this a 2, which tells me one of these 3 is a 2, but it can't be this one. Additionally, now one of these 2 is an 8. Let's see. One of these 3 has to be an 8 because it can't be either these or this, actually, or this. So it's one of these 2, which means one of these 2 is an 8. Okay. Where do I want to go now? None, whoops. There we go. None of these can be a 1, so it must be one of these 2, which actually has to be then this bottom one, and the top one then has to be a 7, which means one of these 2 here is a 7. Additionally, one of these 2 is a 1. let's see. None of this can be a 1, so it has to be one of these two, which means that one of these three is a 1. Yep. Okay. Let's see. I'm just trying to see what the next. Oh yeah, this one can't be an 8, so this one has to be an 8, which means one of these two. Well, actually, it has to just be this one then. Has to be an 8. So one of these three is an 8. Then this is a 7. This is a 7. That can't be an 8. Now 6 has to be in the bottom row here, which means it has to be in one of these two. Okay. Where else can I go? Oops, did not mean to do that. This one has to be a 1, so this has to be a 1, which means this is a 2 and this is a 2, which tells me that's not a 1. And I then get one of these 2 is a 3, so one of these 2 is a 3. So, yeah. Okay. Let's see, this column still... I can't have 5 in either of these. One of these 2 has to be a 5. It means these remaining ones have to be 3, 4, or 9. This one then has to be 4 or 9 because it can't be a 3. This one here has to be 3 or 4 because it can't be a 9. So there's that. Let's see, and then 3, 4, 5, and 9. This one here cannot be a 3 or a 9, so it has to be 4 or 5. And this one up here can be 3, 4, or 5. It just can't be 9 because of the 8. So this one here is a 9. Which, does that tell me anything else relevant at the moment? I don't think so. Let's see. I think I might just have to do the same thing on this side. So I need to have 4, 5, 6, and 9 here. 9 can't be in either of these, or this one now, so this has to be a 9. These remaining ones have to be 4, 5, or 6. This one here has to be 5 or 6. This one here can be 4, 5, or 6, and this one here can be 4 or 5. So, okay. Then one of these 3 is a 9, I guess. Except for it can't be this one on the end here, because then this would have to be a 6, which would break. So there's that. Where do I want to go now? None of these can be a 3, I guess. Neither of these can be a 9, actually, so there has to be a 9 up here. And that means this square here has to be a 9, and that tells me also this one has to be a 9, which means that has to be a 9 here, which tells me one of these two is a 9, so this has to be a 9, which is going to give me a 9 here and a 1 here, and that's going to give me a 3 over there. I also get a 1 here, a 3 here. So there's that all done. I get a 1 here as well. Whoops. Down here, I need to have, none of these can be a 6, so this has to be a 6, which is going to give me a 5 and a 4. And then I need to have 3, 4, and 5 in these 3, which could be in any order. This has to be 3, 4, or 5. This has to be 3, 4, or 5. Let's see. Over here I need 3, 4, 5, and 6. Neither of these can be a 6, so this has to be a 6, which is going to make this a 6. And I also get a 6 here and an 8 here, which is going to give me the remainder of my 8s. I also have a 6 here and a 4 here. And that means I need 3, 5, and 6 up here with a 6 in one of these two, which is actually going to just tell me that it's a 3 and 6 pair because I can't have a 5 next to a 6, which is going to let me solve all of this. Okay. I need to have a 3 here because it can't be in any of these, which is going to solve box 1. I need 4, 5, and 6 in these. Neither of these can be a 6 for various reasons. Actually, the same reason in this case, because I don't need to use 7 logic for that. I have a 4, 5 pair here. This has to be 4. I guess it just has to be 4 because it can't be 5. So I have a 3, 5 pair with these. Can't have a 3 because of that. So that's going to give me all of this. I need to have 3 and 9 in these two. Then this one has to be a 3 because of the 2 here. And that's going to give me, I think, pretty much the rest of the puzzle solved. Because I can just use standard Sudoku logic to figure out the placement of the remaining numbers. And there we go. Let's see. We got just 2 left. Okay. This one has no repeating on diagonals and palindromes. Okay. Let's see. Just trying to figure out what they're trying to get me to see with this construction. That's pretty much symmetric. It's almost symmetric across everything. I can't have... What can't I have? None of these can be 2, 7, or 8, I guess. None of these can be 3, 5, or 6. Which doesn't actually give me all that much in retrospect. The central digit here has to be a 9, though. Just because of everything else around. Which means none of these 3 are 9s. So I get one of these is a 9, one of these is a 9, one of these 3 is a 9, and one of these 3 is a 9. For the remaining ones here, I need 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this is 1, 2, or 4. This is 1, 2, or 4. It has to be 1 or 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 1, 3, or 4. It can't be a 1 because of the 1 up here. And similarly, in this column, I need 5, 6, 7, or 8. This has to be 6 or 7. Standard there. This one here has to be also 6 or 7. So that's going to actually give me a 5, 8 pair there. So we get that. That means one of these 2 has to be an 8. Which means that also one of these 2 has to be an 8. Similarly, one of these 2 has to be 5, and one of these 2 has to be a 5. Let's see. That also tells me that one of these 2 has to be an 8, so one of these has to be an 8 because I need to have an 8 somewhere in this long diagonal, and it can't be on any of these or any of these because of the 8 here. Same thing with 5 on this side. Let's see. I can't have a 5 in any of this stuff. I also can't have a 5 in this diagonal, so one of these 2 has to be a 5, which means one of these 2 is a 5, but this one can't be a 5, so this can't be a 5, so we get, 5 in both of these, which is also going to give me a 5 up here, and it's going to give me the location of all the 8s as well in the area. And I can do the same argument of 8s on this side to see I need to have an 8 here and here. And that means one of these 2 is an 8, this one here is an 8, so that's an 8. I think I could probably do the same, 5 here and 5 here. Okay. Next up, let's see. I need this, this one has to be 1, 6, or 7. And this one up here has to be 4, 6, or 7. Yeah, okay. And then that means I just need digits from 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, or 7 and all of this, which I already knew. Okay. Over here I need 1, 3, 4, or 6. Yeah, could, well, 1, 4, or 6, because it can't be 3. Oops. And over here, I need, let's see, 1, 4, or 7. So, okay. None of that, at least I don't think any of that particularly is helpful. This digit has to be in one of these 2 spaces, so it has to be in one of these 2 spaces. And also, this digit has to be in one of these 2 spaces as well, so I actually can't have a 4 here. It needs to be 1, 6, or 7 for each of these. Similarly, I need to have, let's see, I can do the same thing over here, so this has to be 4, 6, or 7. Whoops. There's that. This 1, 2 digit has to appear here. Similarly on this side, this 3, 4 digit has to appear here. Which also means that it's in one of these two spaces, so it can't be a 4, it has to be a 3. For that one, I can presumably do the exact same thing on the other side then. This one has to be in one of these two, so it can't be a 1, therefore it must be a 2. Okay, which means I need to have 1 and 4 on each of the two diagonals outside of this central box, which lets me know I also need to have 4s here and 1s here, which is going to give me this. And now these are 2 and 3, and then this is a 6, 7 pair that I can't solve yet. Let's see. I need to have a 4 here then, just because it's the only spot left in row 6 it could be. This is a 7, 9, 7, 9. This is a 6 or 9. Here I need to have a 1, and then this has to be a 6 or 9. Up here I have 2, 6 or 9. This has to be a 2, and then this is just a 6 or 9 as well. Let's see, I have a 1 here, then this has to be 6, 7, or 9. This has to be 6, 7, or 9. Over here's a 1, and let's see. I get a 3 here and a 3 here, which means I can't have a 9 here, and I get a 6, 7, or 9 here, and here, and here, and then this has to be a 2. Then I get a 6, 7, or 9 in both of these spots. This one here also has to be 6, 7, or 9. This one here is a 4. I get a 3 here, 6, 7, or 9 here. Actually, it has to be 7 or 9 only, which means I can't have a 6 here. I also get a 2 here. This one has to be a 9, which is going to probably break the entire puzzle wide open because of how many 6, 7, and 9 chains I have going around the entire grid. And yeah, it did. So there we go. Now we're on to the last one, which is just normal Sudoku. And if you feel like doing this hard mode, each box must be resolved in order, and no pencil marks or digits can be placed in other non-resolved boxes. I will do that. So essentially I start with box 1, which is this top one, and I just try and get it solved. I can't have 2, 3, 4, 5 in here, so this must all be 6, 7, 8, or 9. And then these ones here have to be 2, 3, 4, or 5. So let's see. I essentially get this pattern here, which means I have a 9 here. I have nothing guaranteed on this side yet. Let's see. I can't pencil mark any of the other boxes until I completely solve this box, I believe. Sorry, I'm gonna have to take a minute. I will be right back because I have to take a call. Hey, sorry about that. I'm back now, so we will just get right back into it. Okay, each box must be resolved in order and have no pencil marks or digits placed in other non-resolved boxes. Let's see this. Okay, so one of these 2 is a 5, one of these 2 is a 3, and if we think about it, I can't put pencil marks in other boxes, but I can use other boxes to logically deduce this box, since I'm trying to do this in challenge mode, because otherwise most of the puzzles this time have been pretty easy. I know there has to be a 7 here because of all of this, so this one can't have a 7, which means I get a 9 here and a 7 here. I have a 6, 8 pair up here. I'm going to have a 6, 8 pair here. In order to resolve this, then I need to figure out where all the other... There's going to be an 8 here, which means one of these 2 has to be an 8, which doesn't help me unless I know the other digit in here, which can't be a 6, because then I would have 6, 8, and 6, 8 here, so this must be a 6, just based on uniqueness logic. So I actually get that guaranteed. Now I know that one of these 2 is a 5. Let's see. One of these 3 is a 4. If I can figure out, let's see, what else? What other digits are there that matter? 2 is somewhere in these 3 over here. 4 is somewhere just up here at all. Same thing with 3, because yeah, this is just a 6, 8 pair. One of these is a 1. So this has to be a 2 or 3. This is a 2 or 4. Over here, let's see, I need to have 2, 3, 5, and 9. There has to be a 5 here, which means that this has to be 2 and 9, this has to be a 3. So I have a 3 in one of these two, which means one of these two has to also be a 3. Okay, now one of these is a 3, so this is a 1-3 pair, this has to then be a 2-4 pair, so I have a 2 here, and a 4 here, which means one of these two has to be a 4. Okay, and since I have a 2 here, I have a 2 here, so this is going to be a 2-4 pair, so this can't be a 2-4 pair here, because then I wouldn't be able to get a unique solution. Okay, so I have a 3 here now, which means this one has to then be the 3, this has to be a 1, this is a 1 then. My remaining ones are 6, 7, and 8 in here, so 6 here, 8 here, 7 here, which doesn't really matter all that much, except for this now has to be a 2 or a 4 as well. Additionally, I need to have a 2 or a 4, and one of these, this one has to also be 2 or 4, so this has to be a 4, this is a 2, this here then is a 4. Which means I have a 2-5 pair here, one of these has to be a 2, one of these 2 is a 5, additionally one of these 2 here is a 5, over here I also need a 1, which has to be one of these 2, a 6 and a 9, so this has to be 1 or 5, because it can't be 6 or 9, additionally one of these is a 9, so I have 1, 5, this one here has to be a 6 then, this is either 1 or 5, yeah, this is either 1 or 5, I also know that I need to have a 2 in one of these 2 slots. The other one here has to be a 4, so this has to be a 2 actually, which means this is a 5 and this is a 2. Now we get on to box 2, which I can pretty much solve almost immediately, I think. Because it's just 1, 6, or 8 left. So I have an 8 here, a 1 here, and a 6 here. Now in this box, I need to have a 3 and a 4 up here. This is a 3, this is a 4, this is a 1, this is a 2, and then I have a 6, 8 pair down here, which I haven't solved yet. Because everything else I deduced earlier when solving this initial box. Let's see. For 6 and 8, they are both going to be somewhere in here, along with 5 and 7. One of these two has to be a 7. Let's see. Other than that, this is a 5, so one of these two is a 5, which means that this one here has to be 6 or 8. So then this has to be a 7, because otherwise I have a 6, 8 pair. 6 or 8, 7, and then 5, 6, or 8. This has to be an 8, so then this has to be an 8 here, so this has to be an 8, and this has to be a 6. Now we get on to this box, which is 1, 5, 6, and 9 missing, so I can't have 9 in this column, can't have 1 in this column, I can't have a 5 in either of these spots. So let's see. This one is going to be a 1 or 5. It can't be 5 because I also can't have 5 in this column either, so this is a 5 and a 9. This has to be then a 1 and a 6. Now we get onto this box. So one of these 2 is a 1. This is a 2. Let's see. This one's an 8, so this is a 1. Now I need to, let's see. 4, there's a 4 here. I need still 6 and 9 to both be down here. Yeah, sorry about that. My computer's getting weird. Anyways, is it just auto ends the recording? So either way, I have 6 and 9 here. I need still to have a 3 and a 7. So I have a 7 here and a 3 here. And now we jump onto this box, which I need a 3 here, and then I need 1, 4, and 5, which are all solvable. Now we're on this box. Let's see. I need to have 4 and 6 here, which is completely findable. I need this next column is 2 and 8, and the last one then has to be 7 and 9. 9's in one of these two. Over here, 7 has to be in one of these two, although I believe I said it had to be in this one. Right, because if 7 was up here, this would be a 6-8 pair, so this one has to be a 7. So 9 and 7 here, 9 here, 2 here, 3 here, 5 here. 5 is here then, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 6, 8, and 7, and there we go. So that's all of it, and yeah, sorry for this weird recording, where I'm going to have to just patch together 3 of these and now at this point, but it is what it is sometimes. Anyways, with that, I'll see y'all next time, so bye.